I just started. I'm like, I did it wrong the first time, so I had to reset it. But we have Becca here. Oh, why is it not moving? There we go. Trying to sort out. I think. Okay, that's fine.
This is all alien to me.
Yeah, because when I first did it, it was vertical.
Oh,
So then I had to. So I was like coming out sideways.
vertical is crimes.
Not to the people that do shorts and TikToks, apparently.
Okay, yeah, I guess. And I mean, like, when you take things in photography, right, there's like vertical orientation and horizontal orientation. When you're trying to create a feeling, you go one way or the other.
Yes.
So I guess if you're actually editing the video in that way, in creating it in that way,
Yes.
it works.
It works.
Look at the wide shot here. Now you
Yeah, the
can
wide
have
shot is
two
good.
different subjects talking to each other, and it makes sense.
It definitely does.
Vertically, I'd be like on top of your head, you'd be like a stack of pumpkins or something. It'd be weird.
It would be, but no, not right now. Okay, so that was Becca. She's the one that organizes everything for this whole doll setup at the booth we have here at ThyGeekdom. But I was trying to set up the live stream because it's been a while since I've done this, and we are good to go. So we're going to start at the booth itself, right? So right now, today's live stream is going to be at ThyGeekdom 2025. This is now officially our third year doing a doll booth or doll, I guess you could say, exhibit here at ThyGeekdom. So if I turn around, that's us right behind there. That's the whole setup. So before we take a walk around of the entire con, which by this time has been staple for me and this channel, let's go walk around and see the booth and just so you guys can see what kind of dolls we had on display. So let me turn this around. There we go. Okay. So coming up to the booth, we have the very first thing that you see here, the front part of the booth, is going to be a representation of our cosplay dolls. So these are all dolls that, one or more of us own that are here in different cosplay outfits. So you have Smart Doll here for cosplaying I guess you could call like a geisha girl playing the, oh man, I can't remember the instrument anymore. But she's playing the little guitar thing. You have Crunchyroll Hime, you have Cloud, you have a 2B cosplay, we have She-Hulk over there, and we have Mystique, and then next to them, let's see if I can remember how to do these controls. So then next to them we have the She-Hulk, we have the Mystique, and then we have the K-pop characters here. I'm sorry, I'm like messing around with the joystick. So we have 3 K-pop characters, 2 female here and 1 male up there with the male Smart Doll. And they have like little descriptions that we have.
Project Doll. It was in Seoul.
So if you guys can kind of read that. We have description cards for all the cosplayers that are up here so that we know what we're trying to cosplay. And then since today is Saturday, this is our little raffle thing that we do every single year. So we have little blind box dolls that are here. And then we have some 3D printed ones here and 1 tiny fox, which is kind of like our grand prize for today. Moving along, we also have a little setup here where you could take pictures for any of your like miniature blind box dolls. And then coming up around the side, now on the, I guess you could say the right-hand side, beginning of this whole U-shaped area that we have here, this is going to be all the anime and video game collaborated characters. These are officially licensed dolls that we have up on display. It's an assortment between like little blind box stuff, but also Smart Dolls and Dolphy Dreams. So we have Batgirl, we got C2, we got Cheryl, we have Justola from Final Fantasy, we have Anya, and we have Slayers. Then moving on, we have like a little photo booth that we have set up. So we usually have this photo booth every year. This time around, it's a lot bigger than what we normally have, and thanks to Becca, of course, Tempest Strife, for those of you that don't know. Uh, we have a very beautiful display up here with like grass, we got the sakura trees, we got the background of the clouds and everything. So even now, as you're watching this live stream, if I zoom in so you can't see the sides, it kind of looks pretty good, like they're outside. So the two dolls that are on display here are actually from a local group of doll enthusiasts around the tri-state area of New Jersey and Pennsylvania and Delaware. And they came here out to our booth to display their dolls. There was a lot more here earlier today, but they had to leave. But these are the three that are remaining out here. So we have the Megamine and two non-collaborated characters just kind of hanging out off to the side. And if we move on to the left-hand side over here, this is kind of like, how do I describe this? It's kind of like our little like museum area of dolls. And if you start on the right-hand side over here, you can see there's all different kinds of resins that we have on display as we go along. And then as we kind of move over, we have like one of the newer resins here, and then one of the newer Dolphy Dream icons as well. And then steadily moving from the resin side, from older to newer resins, and then moving into the whole anime, but right smack dab in the middle, you have these two here, which is the icon and the Super Dolphy, which the icon, as most of you may know, is a vinyl doll, but made in a Super Dolphy kind of aesthetic or fashion. So it's kind of like merging the two between this side of dolls and merging this side of dolls all into like one thing. And then we have like a little shelf below it, which will have our clear boxes of blind box dolls, or little plastic dolls that you can see. Excuse me, my voice is still a little harsh from last week. So if some of you know that I was a little sick last week, I actually lost my voice, so there was no episode or live stream last week. Moving on here, we have a pull-up, as well as some other dolls inside from A-Zone and some Megami device. Moving on to some more clear boxes, we have a 3D printed doll for the cat girl. Then we have like a little dragon and some other smaller SDs inside as well. And then our last little clear box here, we have a myriad of different types of dolls of the one, I keep forgetting, I think it's like the 1/6 scale size. So you can see like there's a Monster Highs, we have a 2B in here, and then these two I honestly don't know. But that is essentially our entire booth. Just kind of coming around here, you could see the way it was set up is really nice this year. We kind of have like this U-shape area for everyone to gather and take pictures of all the different dolls, you know, across this whole like section. And then over here is like kind of where the raffle takes place, where people can talk about like the rules and everything in the raffle. And then like where we started from the beginning, where all the cosplay dolls are kind of just hanging out on the side. This is a really nice setup. They gave us a much bigger area than we had before. Like if you can kind of see and look down, like this entire, all the way up into the end of the blue tablecloth there, this is all our space. So it really generous in the space that we got this year. We had a little bit of a downside of it because the loading dock is actually right next to us, and the loading dock has been, when the doors open, it kind of blows everything over. So we kind of hesitated on displaying the dolls up until the very last minute because we were afraid that the wind would knock them off the pedestals and create a whole mess. So there's a little drama with that, but other than that, everything's been like great. We've had good turnout of people. It kind of looks like a lull period right now. Like there's like nobody here because right now they're about to do the, I forgot what was going on in the main event. So it's like the cosplay parade or something like that. So there's a lot of people starting to line up for that. So we don't have as many walking around as we did earlier in the day. And I'm assuming after the cosplay contest is over, we're gonna have much more people coming by again. But right now it's like a little bit of a lull period. But we're really ecstatic about this year's turnout, especially like the event space that we got. And definitely met a lot of repeat people that have seen us the past 2 years and are happy to see us this year. The only difference between the other years and this year was that this year we actually had a doll meetup, which is the ones in the middle. And it was the group of people, like I said before early in the stream, that came over and brought their dolls and just had like a big community meeting right here in this middle area. It was a pretty decent turnout, so very excited about that. And hopefully we can keep that going, as the years go on. But that's really everything in the doll booth. So hopefully you guys kind of enjoy, a little view of what we have here. Maybe we can see you guys in the future at other kind of doll meetups, or maybe even coming back to ThyGeekdom Con next year. But I know a lot of my viewers are not really from the tri-state area of New Jersey, Delaware, New York, or Pennsylvania area. So I just want to do these live streams so that you guys can see what kind of turnouts and what it looks like when we actually have a whole exhibit turnout from here. So for the rest of the stream, we're just going to kind of take a quick walk around the entire convention. I've done it every year, and I feel like it's kind of like a staple at this point of trying to get a quick walk around of what everything is going on at ThyGeekdom Con that you guys can kind of check out. So we're going to leave the doll booth, which is behind me, and just kind of start walking towards the front and the back areas.
Oh my God, are you Shizu-san from the famous YouTube channel?
Maybe. I would hesitate. I was hesitate to say famous.
You guys do a stream about the doll booth symposium and beyond the doll? Is that you?
I've heard of it before.
Oh my God, I can't believe I'm meeting you for the first time ever. What a crazy random happenstance.
It is, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was Corey from Kit and Cat Shop. Let's go around and, you know what? We always start from the front of the con. Let's go to the back first. So we're gonna go down this way. Change things up a little bit for this year. We'll go into the back area of the con and then kind of move our ways forward. So if you remember from previous live streams, the back kind of encompasses the car shows and the celebrity booths and all that kind of stuff. So if we go down this way, we can go and see what is back there. So I hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. And if you're here just for the doll stuff, that was all in the very beginning of the stream. So let's move on down. So right back here is actually kind of where it starts. So you can kind of see as we come up to it, that whole back wall is all the guests. So as you can imagine, we would have guests like voice actors, we would have illustrators, sometimes like the directors or whatnot. I actually didn't get a chance to look at who the actual guests are this year. I've been just kind of focused on what we're doing for our doll stuff, but it looks like they have a wide variety of people. To be perfectly honest with you guys, I don't know voice actors like I do actors, which is weird because I watch way more anime than I do live action stuff. But it's just easier to put a face with a name when it's when you're watching a movie, versus I guess watching an anime, which sometimes you may watch Japanese and then the seiyu's names, or sometimes you watch the English dub, which I know a lot of people don't really agree with watching English dubs. But then you have another set of actors that you gotta kind of have to know their name for. But one thing I do have to say about this year's ThyGeekdom Con, more than any other years that I've been here, is the car show. So first off, it started off as an Itasha kind of car show where it's anime related cars. So you do have, Initial D and you have MF Ghost, right? So you got the two cars here. But then the car show kind of blew up, and now we just have an everything car show. It's not even just Itasha. It's everything. It expands from that wall to this aisle, to that aisle, to another aisle, and then another aisle. This is almost like a miniature car show going on right now. So if we start, let's go start on one side, right? I know that you guys may or may not be interested in cars, but as we go along, we'll encounter other things along the way. Now on this side over here, you can see starting from the right-hand side, a lot of white cars. And you have yourself, at the very end, you have an Integra, and I believe the next one next to it is a Toyota Chaser, which we don't have here stateside. Then you got a CRX, We got another Civic here, which is not a CRX. It's the wagon one, which I don't believe we ever got stateside. And then an older version of the Corolla. And then we have another Civic, and then another Civic, and then another Civic, and then, like this. I forget the model numbers. I think EG6, right? And then FC3 or something like that. I don't remember. I know like these are like 95s and to 99s. That's the EK6 or EJ6 or EG6. More of these from 95 to 99. You have this one, which is earlier. This is the, maybe this is the EK. It was like 90s to 95. And then moving to the other side, a car that we used to see a lot, at least around here in Jersey, we used to see RSXs like everywhere. Now, finding an RSX is like next to nothing. Like I barely ever see these cars anymore. It's kind of nice to see it at a car show. Then we have the old, but the very popular Supra right here. We have a 300ZX on this side. And then you have this blue car over here, BMW. Then the black car next to it with the yellow wing is a Subaru. And then we get the old white Eclipse from back in the 90, 95 era, which my wife likes to affectionately call the push cart. Then moving back here, we have the blue Toyota GR. You have yourself a GT35 Skyline, or I said GT, didn't I? G35 Skyline. We have this older, which I don't even know. It's either a Mazda or a Toyota pickup truck, but it looks amazing. S2000, which is a car I've always wanted. And I've driven a couple when I used to work for Honda. We have another one of these Civics, which I can't remember if EG or EK, it's one of those. Another Integra DC2. Moving back around to the newer Civics, we have, I don't even know the newer ones, like FS something or whatever for the newer Civics that are out there. Then we have a car we never had in America, the Toyota Crown. We have the Crown here, another S2000, which is beautiful, and the newer Supras in yellow, which, if some of you that watch MF Ghost right there. And then we got this big Land Cruiser that is towing this, I think it's a Mercedes, like an old school Mercedes. I say old school, but it's probably like 90s, something like that. Isn't it? What is this? Oh, no, it's a Nissan. Sorry. I thought it was a Mercedes. That's totally my fault. But I've never seen this Nissan, so it's probably one of those like only in Japan. Nissan Sima. There we go, Sima. And then one of my favorites, the little tiny cappuccinos. These cappuccinos are so cool. I like them a lot. And we have more Toyotas, a little Corolla hatchback. We got more of the FRS or the GR. It's one of those two. Oh no, it's a Scion, so it's an FRS. And then the cappuccino. Oh, I love the cappuccino. Coming back over here, we have a Subaru Impreza and another Supra, a black Supra, which is, this one's like really nicely done. I don't know what anime or character this is, but it's really cool. And then the Sailor Moon Subaru, which has been here pretty much every year. If you guys go back to the older streams, you probably remember seeing it. And then next to that is the tattoo booth. So one thing that's unique about ThyGeekdom Con from any other anime convention that I've been to, although technically labeling this an anime convention is a little bit of a misnomer, which is kind of why it's called ThyGeekdom Con. It's like everything geeky. So like you have like all these different like tattoo I say parlors, but tattoo artists kind of like peddling their wares here, and people getting tattoos while they're enjoying comic books and everything nerdy and geeky. So we kind of have all that. And that's like the whole back end area. Now, this area over here, which I'm not going to spend too much time in because a lot of conventions are very iffy about these areas. This entire area is the artist alley. So it's actually smaller than usual because we only have actually 2 aisles. So you have this aisle and then the inner aisle over here. And that's about it. It's roughly 2 aisles worth of artist alley. And like I said, I hate to kind of go through the artist alley because most conventions are a little particular about going through artist alley and people having their intellectual properties either stolen or copied or whatnot. And it has, within the past couple of years, I would say, spurring a little bit of a controversy amongst con goers and vendors and artists alike. So we're kind of like going to skip this area and not really focus on it and move into the vendors or dealer room of the Artist Alley, which is where we're based. Our booth is actually located in the vendor or exhibitor aisle, more so than the Artist Alley. So we do have the food court, which, I mean, it's the food court in a convention, so prices are what they are. It's the same kind of prices you pretty much will find at any sporting event or comic event or anime event. So it's not the cheapest of prices, but that's pretty much par for the course when you go to places like this. So then on this half of the convention hall is the dealer's room. Now, I already walked the dealer's room earlier today, and I do have to say there is a variance of difference this year as to any other years. We kind of have a lot of vendors peddling wares of the variety of like candles. We've had a lot of booths with candles this year. I'm not really sure why. Maybe candles are like the new in thing, maybe. I mean, I've seen like quite a number of booths of that. And then we have like, these booths like this here, which are like either stickers or temporary tattoos. These tertiums for like Pokemon or anime stuff has been pretty popular within the past couple of years. I've been seeing these pop up a lot of different conventions. Another thing that I think is picking up steam are these knitted or crochet items. They've been popping up at a lot of different conventions. I've seen them at Zenkai Con, I've seen it at Otakon, I've seen it here, I've seen it at Colossal Con. It's a pretty big thing here. Hey, what's up, JK? No, I didn't live stream yesterday, only today. So today's the only live stream. So we're kind of going through the whole con. And since it's not a very big con, it's kind of easy and fairly quick to kind of go through one of these that are here. So here's another one. See, this is another one. It's a candle booth where you can have like different kind of candles scented in. Sometimes they have like interesting names like anime series or like specific characters that have a scent. Did I do a panel? No, not for ThyGeekdom because we have our own booth here for dolls. So I didn't do a panel here because spending the majority of my time at the booth talking to people and just overall help facilitate Tempest Strife's booth, which we every year we have to give her credit because she is the mastermind behind having our own doll exhibit at a con, which most conventions don't even give us that kind of an opportunity. Because we're not selling anything, we're merely just exhibiting, and just showing people and introducing our very lovely hobby. See more candles, very lovely hobby to the community of, I guess you could say, geekiness. So a lot of different like book vendors too, like people like selling their own. Their own stories that they have written and books that they have made. I've seen that a lot. So in addition to candles and crocheted goods, we've been seeing a lot of book vendors too this year at ThyGeekdom Con, which is something I wasn't expecting. Most of the time when you go to a place that have like books, it's something like PAX or something like Comic-Con. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't fulfill the need of ThyGeekdom Con. It's definitely a huge part of like the community is storytelling. We got more of these crocheted animals. It's very popular this year. I'm telling you guys, crocheted animals and candles, scented candles is very big this year amongst the crowd. Then you also have your standard issue booths, which I hate to say it that way, but it kind of feels that way, more candles. And what I mean by that is like, you're always going to have your booths at conventions that's going to be selling keychains and the like. So, you've got things like keychains and little stickers and pins and buttons. And those things will always be around and sell pretty well because, Ita bags are a thing, right? So most people like to have their bags and then show off in their Ita bags like all the different like buttons and stickers and badges of places that they've been to. And a lot of conventions even make it a point to sell commemorative badges for, like, let's say 2025 Otakon or 2025 ThyGeekdom and things like that. And then people proudly display them on their Ita bags. So you're always gonna have keychains and badges and buttons as like big vendor sales around here. And here's another one. See, we got another booth of crocheted plushies. Very popular this year. They've been around for quite some time, but I've definitely seen a lot more booths. Excuse me. It's hard to say it. It's like booths or booths of those items. One of the things I did notice about this con, as opposed to other years, is the lack of. Excuse me. I am coming off of being sick. That's why there was no live stream last week. But there's a severe lack, in my opinion, of role-playing booths, like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. There are a few here, but their booths are mostly like for other things, and then just a sprinkle of like D&D stuff or dice or RPG-related items. So that is one thing I thought was very interesting about this year more than any other years, considering that stuff like D&D and RPGs are very, very much so considered geeky. And to see not much of it this year, I was a little bit disappointed. But I can kind of understand why. This is another thing I thought was really interesting that's new this year is tiles. Like colored animated tiles. But going back to the D&D thing, I think one of the reasons why this year's ThyGeekdom has less D&D or RPG related paraphernalia is because this weekend has been a very busy weekend this year in 2025. As personally, at least I know that Anime Boston, ThyGeekdom and Anime North are all happening this weekend. So as a vendor, my inclination is to say that if you had a choice to vend at events, you probably want to go to the bigger ones. So some of the vendors that probably would have been here this weekend are probably at Anime Boston or Anime North. At least for the Eastern Seaboard. I mean, there's other conventions probably going out west or in Central America as well. I say Central America, but like I mean like Midwest, kind of like America. Now you have these booths you always see at conventions with. You have the ears, you have the little like cat ears, fox ears, dog ears kind of thing. And then these food fudge shops have been popping up a lot at every convention now. I've been seeing them more and more lately, selling fudge, which I did buy some fudge from them last year. It was very delicious, but not really my cup of tea because I'm not really a fudge kind of guy. It's too sugary for me. But nonetheless, I wanted to try it and give some to the kids, and they enjoyed it. They really liked it. Now, moving on down a little bit more down this booth, we have some precious stones and rocks and gems, which I thought was very interesting for this year's ThyGeekdom. Another thing I also noticed about this year is there's not much in the way of Pokemon. And that's not specific to ThyGeekdom. I think just in general, like every convention that I've been to has always had like a overwhelming amount of Pokemon stuff. So here's a dice booth. They got some really cool dice and dice trays here, which I think is really awesome. It's one of the few ones that are actually here to get this kind of stuff. So I think it's really cool. And then moving on to the rest of the stuff, here's another fudge bar. See, we have 2 fudge bars. I don't believe that they are the same company. I think it's like 2 different companies for the fudge bar. Then you have your, a lot of random booths that have like figures and, the regular anime stuff, and then t-shirts and things like that. This year we have a lightsaber booth. So they're selling lightsabers here, and you can construct your own lightsaber, which I thought was like really, really interesting. That's definitely right up the alley of like anything like geeky or like sci-fi related. So I thought that was really cool to see this year. more anime-related goods as we go along. Lots of statues, Figmas, what's called Funko Pops is another thing that's really popular. Like almost this whole aisle is Funko Pops alone. And then we have this booth of honey, which I thought was really cool. So I'm not like a big honey guy, but they do have a honey booth. Then we do have a hemp company. I'm not really sure exactly what it is that they're selling. Excuse me, I don't mean to be blowing up your ears with my coughing. But I thought it was really cool because I've never seen one before. So they did have that hemp booth back there. Let's see, what else we got? Comic books galore on this side. More Funko Pops as we go along this side. More Funko Pops on this side as well. The Wee Box. We have brick craft, so like little Lego things is over on this side, which is pretty cool. Then we have the winery, which all con long you get free wine. Not whole cups, just like little tiny teacups of wine, but they have some good stuff there. This thing moves, which I thought was very interesting. Look at that. That's pretty awesome. We got some classic like metal signs over here at this booth. All right, let's go down this aisle. Now we have like more t-shirts and anime related goods. Another booth for books. We have like some books that people are selling here. More books and photography related things. Another candle booth. So we got some candles on this side. Pokemon stuff, some comic book stuff on the right. And then these things I think are really interesting, if you guys want to see this. These are like shadow boxes of anime characters. So like, they're kind of 3D. If you kind of look at it from the side, they kind of pop out. So they're all like drawn and colored on like little pieces of wood. And then they kind of overlap them to give it that 3D effect, which I think is really, really cool. They have a lot of cool like characters and things on these like 3D boards. Then going down this way, we have some nice mugs and tumblers of anime characters and shows. Another novel table. Let's see. The one and only Pokemon booth that I could find that have Pokemon plushies, which I thought was really interesting. We have an outfitter of medieval times wares. Your gachapons. What is an anime convention without some gachapons? More Funko Pops on the right-hand side over here. Let's keep going along. It's a little bit of traffic coming up ahead. More comic books, more dragons. So another RPG kind of ish booth of D&D stuff, but mostly like dragon related. I think these things I bought for my son. These are really cool. Like they're like these big dragon printed things that kind of look like this. They're pretty awesome. I bought 2 of them for my son. He actually really likes it. Now, this one is one that I see popping up at a lot of different conventions nowadays. Is like the Japanese like goods booth, which you get everything from like drinks to little snacks and everything. This is also one of those places where you can get those Sailor Moon sodas and Dragon Ball Z sodas and chips and things. They're popping up more and more through conventions here in the States. Is booths that are just selling snack foods. Very popular lately. And then we have like the Lego booth. There's just like rows and rows and rows of like custom Lego people, from like Halo to Lord of the Rings, Dragon Ball characters and the such. There are so many of them. There's even Predator and Freddy Krueger. We have another wine. Got a wine place selling wine. Now these things are cool. These are like, so you normally have prints, but these are like metal prints, like stamped on metal and painted on, which I thought was like really interesting. More comic book related stuff and anime stuff on that side. This one here is pretty cool. You can get light switches So like if you wanted, let's say, the flash, you can put it on your light switch at home. Depending if you have like one of those regular toggle switches, if you have a flat switch, it kind of won't work for any of those. Although it does work here. If you have a video game, get a video game light switch for Super Mario Brothers. I thought that's cool. We got helmet prop shop. We've got some cards that we can buy here. Pokemon, Magic, Lorcana, etc. Let's see, what else we got? Okay, more anime figures, some gashapons and comic books on that side, more metal stamped pictures. Then we have, on this side, we have more of the novels of custom stories that people have been printing and selling here. This is very popular. Like, I told you, novels are pretty popular. More Lego stuff on this side and miniature figures.
Yes, this is like, oh my god, this is like, oh my god, this is like comedy connoisseur.
Some Pokemon things here, some card-related goods. If any of you are looking for Pokemon cards, no, there's no Destined Rivals for those of you that are interested, as that will come out on Monday. We have a pickle guy selling all different kinds of like pickles, different flavors. Sweet horseradish, Thai chili, garlic. That's something very unique I've never seen anywhere else either. It's like the pickle guy. Medieval time jewelries, which have dragon scales. I think I showed this to you guys last year, but they have dragon scale like necklaces and like look at this shoulder armor. I thought that was really cool. Moving on. More card related stuff in here. And then this one's new. This one is a hand towel. All different kinds of hand towels of different like things like Hello Kitty, Sanrio, Deadpool, and the like, of just different kinds of hand towels. That is also something very unique to this con that I've never seen anywhere else before. Then you have all your cosplay weaponry needs. Like, look at all these swords. So many swords. So many swords. And like fake guns and stuff. Even the Final Fantasy VIII sword. This guy's got a really cool booth. Is True Honey Teas. So it's all different kinds of tea. I think he has peach, blueberry, and regular tea, all infused with like honey. And then there's the guns for the anime cosplay guns on this side. More swords even on this side. Star Wars related goods over here. And then a bunch of pictures, but I don't know if those are just display or something that you can buy along the walls. And this, I swear, this anime cosplay weaponry booth is so huge. Like wraps around the whole end cap. Now we have more Funko Pops. Funko Pops over here. Some collector pictures in the back edges over there. And now we're getting towards the front of the area. So right at the end here, once we get down this way, you're gonna have main events, panel rooms, and video games. So here we have some wooden, I don't even know what they are. They're like paddles or handles with like different kinds of etchings in it for pop culture references. More comic book stuff over here, over at the Sneaky Burrito. Seeing all this really cool stuff here. Stickers. And then we have this last one is the Gotcha Gallery and Xenoscope booths. Now we get into the other part of the con, which over here we have the photo booth. So this is the ThyGeekdom photo booth that's here every single year, where you can take pictures or have professional pictures taken of you right here in this booth here. And then they have their sign, like copying like the love thing in, I think it's Chicago, the ThyGeekdom. And then this is really popular this year that they put up is the colored geek sign. Now this I really like. It's like a color changing sign. It changes colors like, I don't know, every couple seconds or so. And a lot of people have been taking their photos here at the geek sign. It's a very popular attraction this year. I don't think they've had it any other year like that. All right, now moving into this area. So down this way, so I can get out of everybody's way, that is the main events and concert hall. Like if we zoom in, you can kind of see it. Right there's the stage. And then moving down here is where you're going to see the panel rooms. So I think this is panel room 3, if I'm not mistaken, or C, yeah. Panel room C, which is 3. Then we have next to it is panel room B. So if you've never been to ThyGeekdom Con, the way they do their panel rooms is a little different than other cons. Like if you'll notice other cons, they'll have like actual rooms, like conference rooms. Whereas ThyGeekdom, it's basically separated by a curtain between each room. It can be a little bit hard to hear the presenter at times because there's music and events going around, but they do give you a microphone, so at least the microphone will project your voice a little bit louder for everyone to hear you. Now moving down this way, we do have panel room A, which is the very first panel room on this side. There's a panel going on right now. And then to the left of that is your video game section. So here's where we're gonna have all the video games. So like they do every single year here at ThyGeekdom Con, you're gonna have a treasure trove of different kind of video games. You're gonna have the console video games, which are kind of situated around the middle areas of the entire room. Then we have something over here, which is the pachinko machines. You're gonna see the pachinko machines over here that people can play. And then all the way in the back area over there, let's zoom in a little bit, you're gonna have your pinball machines. So all your pinball machines are on the back wall of the video game area. One thing that is missing this year, which I'm distraught, people. I'm distraught. Every single year, right here, in this empty space right here, every year we have the barber shop. There's a guy that cuts hair. Every single year he's here, but this year he's not. So I'm a little worried, people. He's always here, and this year he's not here to cut hair. I hope he's okay. I hope that just means that business has really picked up for him, and you know, he just wasn't able to attend because of business reasons. But he's been here like ever since I've been going to ThyGeekdom Con cutting hair. So a little surprised not to see him here. Now along this area here, this is the main entrance. This is where everyone comes in, picks up their badges, and then gets checked in before they actually get into the event. Down this way, in this hallway from the main entrance, you're gonna see the tabletop room. And this is where all the like board games and like Magic the Gathering and One Piece and Pokemon trading card stuff happens, is down on this side. So it's down this way where everyone's kind of just like playing in this general area. And then moving out of that section, we're gonna have the manga library immediately to our right. So after you pass tabletop, you're gonna have the manga library here, which is a pretty, I think it's a pretty standard thing to have at every single convention, is you'll have manga library, which you'll give them your badge or your ID depending on different various places, and then you could read manga for free. And most of the time they'll have like entire collections. So you're gonna like have a whole series. And if you so choose to, you could probably read and finish an entire series of manga in one of the manga libraries for the whole weekend if you wanted to. And that pretty much is the entire convention this year. So what do you guys think? I mean, especially if you've watched the other conventions for the past 2 years, or well, including this year, 3 years of me going to ThyGeekdom Con, you could definitely see like each year it's gotten bigger. And I would say each year it's kind of changed in a way on the different kinds of vendors and different things that are happening. JS, sorry, I didn't see your message earlier, but I will be doing a panel at Otakon. 2 out of the 4 panels I applied for have been accepted, but I don't know if I'm gonna present them. And I know that doesn't make any sense. It's more so this year they did the acceptances differently. So they send out emails this year saying that your panel has been accepted, but it may be accepted for the main programming or it might be waitlisted. They won't tell you until they get closer to the event. So I have 2 panels that were accepted, and they're currently on the accepted / waiting list, I guess approval list. So I won't actually know which panel I'm going to be doing until I get closer to the Otakon date. But I did hear from our good friend of the channel, Batman Jackson, that at Otakon we will have a doll meetup again, and we are more than likely going to have a pre-established room, and we'll be on the schedule. So that's always a good thing, because if we can get our own room and our own schedule, it's easier for people to find us and prepare for the event. So that's kind of what's planned for Otakon. But thanks everybody for coming. You know, I hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream of ThyGeekdom 2025. I am definitely having a lot of fun this year, but it's a different kind of fun than any other year. It's more so we've kind of established ourselves at this convention, and people have been seeing us for many years, well, not to say many years, but for the past 3 years attending, and they kind of look forward to seeing us here now. So it's pretty interesting, the turnout that we've been getting at this con. So we've arrived back at the booth. Why isn't it working? There we go. We're arriving right back here at the booth, and this is us. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. And for those of you that may have missed it when we started earlier, like, I guess we're 46 minutes in, dang. So when we started earlier today, 46 minutes ago, the first thing we did this time around for the live stream was we went over the booth first. So if you missed that portion of the live stream, this is going to be available at all times on my channel. So as soon as I click close on today's live stream, it should automatically upload to the channel, and then you can rewind and see the beginning where I kind of showed you guys all the dolls that are on display. But thanks everybody for coming to today's live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a lot of fun walking around with me and talking weird comic and convention type stuff. And if we can, I know I say this every time, but if I can, I'll try and live stream Otakon. But again, these live streams are highly dependent on whether or not I can get good service. And I've notoriously have been having issues with getting service at some of the bigger conventions. And I don't know if it's because my ISP sucks, or if it's because there's just so many people using their phones and overloading the towers, but I will try for Otakon again this year to see if I can live stream. But as for now, this is ThyGeekdom 2025, and I will see you guys. Take care. Bye.